Hi everyone. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a human head with correct proportions. Children draw people like this, with the eyes at the top of the head, but that's way off. When I was a student, I learned that heads were more egg-shaped, and if I divided the egg in half both ways and then divided the bottom sections in half a couple of times, I'd be able to place the features on it in a way that looked better. And this made a lot more sense until I tried to draw the head at an angle. Where is the jaw? Do I have to just guess at it? What if I wanted to draw a profile? The nose and eye make sense, but again, what's going on with the jaw? There's a better way. And Andrew Loomis came up with a system to draw a human head from all angles in the 1940s, and it's better than anything I've ever seen. He was an illustrator and teacher in Chicago, and everyone from Norman Rockwell to Alex Ross has nothing but praise for his technique. That's Alex Ross, not Bob Ross. He's an incredible illustrator for DC Comics, and his figures are so monumental and solid. He says that his entire approach to drawing and painting superheroes owes its genesis to Loomis's work. Anyone who sees this stuff wants to be able to draw like Alex Ross, and that also means that they want to draw like Andrew Loomis. So I'm going to try to show you how. Alright, so today I'm going to draw a generic head facing forward, and I'm starting with a circle. Next, I'll divide it in half both ways. The bridge of the nose is on the vertical line, and the horizontal line is the brow line. Then I'm cutting off two chunks from the sides. Directly across from where they hit on the circle is the bottom of the nose. The distance between the nose line and the brow line is important. I'm going to repeat that distance below the nose line, and that'll give me the chin. Whoops. And above the brow line, that is the hairline. From here, I'll draw the jaw to connect with the chin. I've made a few videos about how to draw individual features, so I'm not going to be very detailed here. This sketch is just to show you where everything goes. The mouth is a little bit up from the halfway mark between the chin and the nose. The brows are right on that first horizontal line, and the eyes will settle in beneath them, obviously. You can pop in a couple of cheekbones, and already this guy is looking a lot more solid than my person with the egg-shaped head. You're just going to see a slice of the ears from this angle, and they're in the space between the brow and the nose line. The hairline is sort of a gentle curve, and I use stretched out S-curves to define the temples. Then I like to extend the hair past the first circle that I drew. That part is the skull, and the hair grows out beyond that. So let's review that. Start with a circle, divide it in half both ways. Cut two skinny chunks off each side. The nose line is across from the ends. Bit between the brow and the nose line gets repeated above the brow and also below the nose. Sometimes I'll draw the jaw in just a bit from the sides of the head. The line between the lips is a little higher than halfway between the chin and the nose. Then we draw the bottom of the nose, the eyebrows, and the eyes. Cheekbones and ears. Easy little hairline and temples. And hair. Now I thought it might be fun to apply this idea to two actual people. The first one is Kanye West, and I had a little trouble with the lighting here. It's kind of washed out, sorry about that, but you'll see what I'm doing in about 10 seconds. I've divided the head up the same way as before, but I've given him a more prominent jaw, and those chunks I cut off were at a bit of an angle. His forehead is slightly narrower. I've sketched in his nose and eyebrows. His eyes are smallish but intense, and I have a lot of shading to do around them. That shading continues on down his nose. Again, this lighting situation makes the drawing seem kind of washed out. His mouth is terrific. He has this dead serious expression, and the line between his lips is turned down. I'm not a big fan of goatees, but they are a blast to draw. Let's shade that mouth. The top lip is darker than the bottom. And some curvy ears. I feel like his hairline is a tiny bit low. You can adapt these generic proportions to individual faces as you see fit. He has a very sharp hairline that's easy to draw. And now I'm going to do some shading. This is just a 10-minute sketch, so I'm not being too uptight about blending, and I could go a lot darker all over, but you can see how the shaded areas give his face some dimension. One thing that really makes him Kanye is the dark shadows between his eyes above the bridge of his nose. I suggest you practice drawing people whose faces are unique or interesting. Such as his wife. Yes, I'm drawing Kim Kardashian just to prove that this setup can work on anyone, including women, even women who are kind of plastic. Her face, or at least the way she's posing it here, is more elongated, so I've adjusted the chunks to kind of angle in at the bottom. There's her nose, and sometimes I'll use my fingers to measure with. That's the hairline. And that's the chin, but I'm going to make an adjustment. Her mouth is closed here, but I think her teeth are apart, and this is making her face longer. I'll draw in that skinny jaw of hers in just a bit from the chunks. Sorry for calling them chunks. Really prominent cheekbones here. Her nose is really small and narrow. I wonder why. Kim's mouth is fascinating. The line between her lips is wavy, and there's this little space in the middle. I'm sort of exaggerating her mouth. I used to draw caricatures for my college newspaper, and it's a hard habit to break when I draw famous people. Her eyebrows are prominent, as are her eyes. The corners tilt up like a cat's. See how I left a little sparkle? Lots of makeup on the eyes. I sort of mass it together in one big black shape and then add a few lashes. She is all about putting mascara on her lower lashes too. Let's shade the mouth. Again, the top lip is darker than the bottom lip. Her hair is parted on the side and is in a bun that you can't see. I'll start with general shapes here, and I'm not going to forget her ears. Feel free to erase your beginning lines. I drew mine extra dark, so they're hard to get rid of. Draw yours lightly if this is more than just a practice drawing. And I encourage you to practice drawing as many of these heads as you can. After a while, the weirdness of this setup will become second nature to you. In my next video, I'll show you how to draw people like this from other angles. Thanks a lot for watching.